to head up the hill again. It's 5-6 miles up there to where we've been hunting, so it takes a good half hour, 45 minutes to get up there, get a start in the dark, and should be there by daylight, I guess. Get up there and figure out what we're going to do. Well, it's getting daylight here a little bit, so you can see down in there is where we were into the elk there yesterday. And there was a couple more bugling further up in here, so we're just going to take a loop a little bit higher today and see if we can hear one and go from there. But this ridge is kind of open here, so I think that'll get us down in there a little faster than what it took us yesterday to get down in there. It took us quite a while to get down there where the bulls were, so we'll head that direction.
I can hear a couple faint.
Which one?
Oh, it sounds like either over the top or just further down in there.
That one sounds like the same one we were nicking with yesterday.
Yeah. We just go to where you planned on and see if we can hear anything further down
We'll
in
get
there.
up on that next ridge. We'll just sit over there, but there was a couple of bulls going down over there yesterday.
It sounded like that could be where I could hear the ones too. So.
We know they're down in there, so we can just...
It's kind of on the way out too if we want it to be.
Yeah, it sounds like down there on that flat where we were yesterday.
There's two bulls down there going back and forth yesterday.
Go down this way a little ways and listening.
Sounds like there's two of them down in there. One down here that we originally heard. And another one up in there. Probably the same two that were kind of going back and forth yesterday. Wind's kind of wanting to go that way, it seems like. So we're going to try to get on that side of them and come up. Work into them. It sounded back towards where we came from, kind of maybe up higher.
Well, the elk kind of shut up here. It's about 10 o'clock, so I think we'll just kind of loop on up here a ways, see what the country looks like or whatever, and just kind of make a big circle, head back to where we came from, I guess. But they'll probably start bugling again here in an hour or so. They go pretty good, and then they shut up, and then they'll start again after they rest up a little bit. But might catch one this afternoon. I don't know whether it's the same grizzly track we're seeing all the time, but every trail we're on, there's a grizzly track on. It's either one grizzly putting in a lot of miles, or several grizzlies. I don't know. That looks like a bigger track there. What was that?
looked like a smaller bull. Not like a raghorn, but a little 5x5 or something.
I thought I could smell elk pretty hard
Yeah.
there a little bit ago. Is he bedded or is he actually coming into it?
I think he might have been sneaking in because I was looking up there before. I could never see him. I mean, he was like right here when I first saw him, so I think he just saw us before that. I came sneaking in silent.
I guess I should have been ready. Not that he was big enough to start.
Well, we started to head back towards the vehicle, and then the bulls kind of started to wake up along this hillside here. And that one there is going pretty good. There's kind of several bulls scattered out along the same elevation line, so we're just going to kind of start with this bull, and if we can't get him to come in or whatever happens, we're just going to kind of walk that ridge line out. Hopefully we'll be in elk the rest of the day. He's kind of been fired up for about a half hour, 45 minutes here, so hopefully we can get there in time. He's not too far up in front of us at this point, it doesn't seem. Maybe a couple 100 yards. So.
Yeah, we get the, it's kind of a flat right out in there. I think that's where he is. Got the wind right in our face right now. I think we'll go down here on the flat and call. He's a ways in there yet. I think he went on over the hill. Pretty close there. A couple of bugles. He might have, I don't know whether he caught our wind or not. The wind was good and bad, and you know, it's hard to say. So thick in here, it'd be hard to get a shot. He'd be close. You can get one to come in. I'll just see if he lands here. So I think there was a couple more bugling off down this way. I think we'll loop back down in this basin. Maybe hear another one.
It's an antique.
Thing's about as old as I am, probably.
I don't know if it's that old.
What's that?
I said I don't know if it's that old.
You better pack it out for that statement or be a pretty good spot right there.
Mm-hmm. Smells like it.
So here's I used Onyx Maps or whatever, and actually I'm pretty sure it's this little pothole. I found it. So we'll pull up Onyx Maps and see if my little marker is on this pothole, but you can see it, you know, in the aerial view or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's on this, you know, we're close to it somewhere, but I didn't figure we'd actually walk into it. We'll go over here in the shade and take a look.
Nailed it.
That also means we're a heck of a long ways from the truck. Bulls have really been splashing around in there. They had to been just this morning. I mean, it's looked like a half a dozen of them been in there.
We heard several of them up in this area this morning too.
Yeah, that's where them bulls we heard this morning, they all, including that one we got close to there a little bit ago, they all ended up in this basin right here. We might be able to find a little closer access to it, but there's a lot of elk back in here. And it's, you know, I don't imagine too many people get back in here. I don't see any ground blinds set up around this spot anyway.
You can see where there's water splashed up on this log from this morning.
It'd be fun just to sit here all day.
The whole season till you shot as big of one as you want.
It was up on top there. When you walk down in here, you could almost sit here for 3 or 4 hours, you know, and then walk back out dark.
Uh-huh.
So Jake reminded me that he had remembered to pack a trail camera on the trip. Mine was too heavy, so I left mine back at camp or whatever. So we're going to take the Exodus trail camera and set up on this wallow, and maybe we'll be back here to get it. Who knows?
I've been looking for an excuse to get it out of my pack for the extra weight.
Yeah. You wouldn't think that pound would make much difference, but it does after walking all day, I'll guarantee you.
It's funny how much you and I both started with, and like all the stuff that we've thrown out of our packs the first day. I mean, you don't know what you're all going to need, and then you realize you don't need it.
If you knew how far was it back to the four-wheeler, you'd understand. But we're in here quite a ways, and it's pretty rugged country. But we're going to put this on video mode, set it up, and hopefully we'll get back here before we leave. So, but it ought to be some awesome footage, I would think. You get a big old 6x6 bull out there splashing around in a swimming pool. It ought to be pretty cool.
Better hurry up before he gets down here.
Guarantee you there'll be something. If we make it back here, there'll be some footage of some kind.
So if we don't get any of the rest of the trip, we'll just play some trail camera footage.
Yeah. Unless a bear comes along and eats the camera, I guess. It's another one for Ted's fireplace mantle there. Too bad he's not with us to pack all this stuff out.
Make a pin on Onyx and just send them all to him when we're done.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll have a couple trips to make in and out.
Yeah. Sounds like one's right in our wallow that we just left, but anyway. It's about like the one we passed up there yesterday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I guess I made it back. It's just about more than I can do in a day there. We left at what, 6?
I left here at 6. Left camp at probably 5:30.
Left here at 6, 5:47. So I've been hoofing it for 12 hours straight. That's just a little much for an old guy, I tell you.
We'll have to park a little closer tomorrow. That's the thing, is like every day we plan on one thing and then the elk are
a little further away or whatever. Yeah, we found a really good spot up in there, just about as far as we can get from here, but we might give it a rest for a day up there, because we kind of looped through there. We set up that camera on the wallow and stuff, and there's a shorter way in there, I think by a mile or two. We'll probably do that, but we might take a shorter jaunt tomorrow, otherwise I'm going to be burnt out here. That's just too far. But we did get into some elk. Had that one big bull bugle close. I don't know, he might have caught our wind or something. He was be perfect one time and then switch and be just the opposite or whatever. So, you know, it's just hard to get a consistent wind up there in them basins. It's been cool and we're in the shady side of the ridge most of the time. And it's, we did see a couple of 5-point bulls, I guess, so wasn't a total loss. A lot more elk sign up in there than there is down here. Tomorrow we might scout the other side of this ridge. There's a big basin in there. We might spend the day in there poking around if I've recovered by then or whatever. And like I say, just give that a break up there and hit it again in a couple of days here. So good day, I guess. What do they say? They say when you're my age, any day above the sod is a good day.
We're way above most of the sod right now.
So it might be pushing that statement today.
I'd say the fact that you're still upright for your age is pretty good, because I'm pretty tired.
Is a plus.
Something knocked her over. Grizzly.
Could see Grizzly walking by it, I guess.
At least he didn't take it.
He's the one that hit it with the nose. That looks like more one for your mantle there, Jake.
Heavy?
You'll probably think so by the time you get it packed out of here. We might accidentally try to stalk down on this one lower one.
Right here to the left, Ed. Pretty good one.
What was that? Thing's about as old as I am from a
I don't know if it's that old.
547. So I've been hoofing it for 12 hours straight. That's just a little much for an old guy.